Thank you, Chair. I grew up in Essex, in a small village next to a reservoir. We had green fields all around us, and a garden big enough for me to spend hours shooting tin cans with an air rifle. What I didn't have, though, was a usable bus service. 16-year-old me had the choice of either begging his parents for a lift or taking a 12-mile round trip on a bike along a very scary roads where cars regularly hit 80 miles an hour. Visiting friends was challenging. Getting a job simply wasn't an option. 16-year-old me would also not have got to vote in a referendum. Referenda are appealing. What can be more democratic than giving the vote to the people, right? They've become a popular tool for decision-making in recent years, but this hides the fact that sadly they are a poor choice for complex issues. While they might seem like a democratic way to let the people have their say, the reality is that they can often lead to division and even dangerous outcomes. Take, for example, Brexit referendum of 2016. This asked us all whether or not we wanted to leave the European Union. Except, of course, it didn't ask us all. It asked British people over the age of 18 if they wanted to leave. The issue of Brexit was multifaceted. It involved a range of economic, social, and political considerations. However, the binary nature of the referendum question, leave or remain, meant that many of those nuances were lost in the campaign, and the public were left with a simplistic, polarised debate that did not accurately reflect the complexities of the issue at hand. Is it any wonder we're still unpicking those complexities 8 years later? A referendum also doesn't decide the matter. We've all seen Brexit, the Scottish independence referendum. Do any of us think those questions are settled? The Scots are still coming back for another referendum. Referendums are not always the final solution. Referendums can be manipulated by those with an agenda to push. In the case of Brexit, we saw how some politicians and media outlets used misleading and inaccurate information to sway public opinion. The Brexit bus, anyone? With the STZ proposals, we've similarly seen politicians misleading the public, scaremongering. I've even heard members of the opposition describe it as their wedge issue, something they want to use to divide us. We mustn't let it divide us into two camps. I'm already saddened by the fact that some of the questions earlier were not able to make it in person because they were scared, because they were uncomfortable coming here, given everything that's been said. We're better than that. This is a really complex issue which requires serious and thorough work. We've seen that with the truly historic levels of response to the GCP consultation. We owe it to the people to let the GCP go through the 24,000 responses and make sure people's voices are heard. This is not a binary decision, and we shouldn't see it as one. The 16-year-olds of tomorrow would not thank us for doing so.